Book 2, Chapter 3, Wonder. The week has gone by so quickly. Today is already Friday. Fridays are fun. We do a project on Fridays and we have art class. I really like art class because it's not like having to study anything. I am anxious to use my protractor from my geometry set, but it's not being taught yet, even though I carry it with me. I like it. Finnan, did you do your homework? Charles asked in a whisper. Yes, but I didn't really understand it very much. Did you understand it, Charles? No, that's why I'm asking you. Charles asking me a question? This is new, as I am always learning from him. Limerick has the attention of many people in our class. I guess being the new kid has its advantages. She giggles at Charles often. I think he blushes like I blush when she speaks to me. It must be because she is new and from a different place. She often talks about her family and what it was like to live in Ireland. It is like a mini geography lesson, and I am really enjoying learning about different cultures. Charles asked if she would like to join us at recess on the bench. I am surprised. I am happy, but surprised. It had always just been the two of us. Now he would be adding one. It won't be long until Max makes his way over after finding out she will be sitting with us. We all grab a snack and head for the bench. It is awkward. I don't know where to sit. Do I sit beside Limerick or Charles? Since Charles invited her, I am sure he wants to sit beside her. If she sits in the middle, I can't really talk with Charles. I am thinking about all this as I walk up to the bench. I make a decision. I will let the two sit first. Where there is room left on the bench, that's where I will go. I'm leaving it up to fate. Just before we arrive at the bench, I hear my heart voice say, "She wants to sit beside both of you." That would mean her sitting in the middle. Sure enough, she sits right in the middle of the bench. Charles sits on the left, as he normally does. Then I naturally sit where there is room, on her right. It is awkward. I don't know what to talk about, and Charles is staring straight ahead. I notice Limerick moving her foot in the sand, like Charles and I do. She starts making circles with her feet. We join in, and the conversation starts. Charles shares stories of people that he knows and all the characters he will be writing about in his books. He explains to Limerick that he is going to be an author, that he wants to write about people. Limerick is very impressed with his words, and she is asking many questions. She asks if I will be in the books too. His answer really surprises me. Of course Finnan will be in my books. He is going to be the main character. Main character, I blurt out loudly. What do you mean, main character? I don't think I am exciting enough to be a main character. Well, Finnan, I watch you the most, and I think you will be a great character. And because you can talk to the animals, I want to use that in my first book of many. Talk with animals? Limerick questions. What do you mean, Finnan can talk with animals? I've seen him do it, Charles says with pride in his voice. Now I am blushing. I didn't want others to know. They wouldn't believe it to be true. I only speak of truth, but I know this isn't very believable. He sits quietly, and he can hear the little ones' hearts. He receives word saying how they are feeling and what they need. You must show me, Limerick says with great delight. I have never met anyone who can talk to animals. Limerick, this isn't something that I share because I don't want to be bullied. Please keep this between us. I know, Charles says. We can make a promise not to tell anyone, but you can show Limerick how you do it. You'll keep it a secret, right, Limerick? Limerick, with wide eyes, eager to be part of this miracle, announces that her word is good. The secret will be kept between us. We all shake hands and start to laugh. I don't think she really believed Charles when he told her, but she wants to discover the truth for herself. I talk about the animal shelter, that it was there when I first discovered I could hear the gentle voices of the animals. She looks fascinated and wants to know more about it. Charles is the one answering most of the questions. He knows I am shy, and I didn't want to appear like I am bragging or something special. The bell rings. It is time to head back to the classroom. We walk in together, which catches the attention of our fellow students. Max walks over to me and a quiet voice says, "Finnan, please tell me about Limerick. Is she nice? Can I sit with you tomorrow?" I start to laugh. Charles and I have known it was just a matter of time when he would want to hang out with us if we were hanging out with Limerick. "What does she like?" he asks. It's like he is gathering information to impress her when he speaks with her. I tell Max that we are just getting to know about each other, that I don't know very much, that in fact I feel Charles knows more about her. He talks with her more than I do. Max, with an eager tone in his voice, says, "I will talk with Charles." I am relieved. I don't want to talk about someone if they aren't part of the conversation. My mom calls it gossip and tells me to stay away from any kind of gossip. Often, gossip isn't true. It can really be hurtful to the one that is being talked about. The more people that share the story, the bigger the story gets, and the more hurtful it can become. I just think that what others do is not my business. If it doesn't have anything to do with me personally, I don't want to take part in talking about it. Mr. Willis has decided to have a surprise test. He says, "Okay, class, today we are going to have a test." The class moans. Some look frightened because no one has studied for anything. "What do you mean a test? What is the subject?" a voice calls out from the back of the room. "This test is a test of patience," he says. A test of patience, I think to myself. What does that mean? How does one study for that? "Okay, books closed and everything off your desks. I want you only to have your pencil in hand." Everyone looks worried. I'm starting to think perhaps he isn't a fun teacher after all. But he is happy, so I am confused. Maybe he is happy because he knows he doesn't have to do the test. We all put our books away and sit quietly, with pencils in hand. I want to reach for my eraser, but he hasn't said anything about using an eraser. "Okay, close your eyes," Mr. Willis says in a gentle tone. "I am taking you on a treasure hunt, a test of patience." We are really confused. We do not understand why we will need the pencil. Have we ever closed our eyes in class before? Take a deep breath and imagine you are on a treasure hunt. You have been given an old map that has very little information on it. You are in search for a treasure that others are also searching for. I sit quietly. I hold my pencil in my hand. I can see the map before me. I have a really good imagination, so this test is starting to be really fun. He says, "Imagine what the treasure could be. Is it in a chest? Is it hidden on the ocean floor? Is it buried on land? Do you need a car to drive to the location? Do you go on horseback? Will you take others with you, or will you go alone?" This is fun. Everyone seems to be having a really good time with it. The room is quiet. That is hard to do with 28 people in the class. My imagination takes me to different places. I need a horse and a boat. Mr. Willis keeps on asking questions. What color is the box holding the treasure? What are you wearing? Is it hot? Are you in a desert? Is it cold? Are you in snow in the Arctic? On and on he walks us through this maze, looking for a treasure. As he is talking, he walks around the class. He is placing something on each of our desks. He asks us not to peek, because if we peek, we will ruin the surprise. I know everyone is following instructions. This is the most fun I have had with a test, ever. One by one, he places an object on each desk as he is walking, still asking questions about where our treasure is to be found. I'm still not sure how patience is part of the test. No patience is required for this. Okay, class, has everyone arrived at their treasure? Everyone says yes, they have found the treasure on their imaginary map. Okay, I want you to slowly open your eyes. I open my eyes to see a small box in the center of my desk. I look around and everyone has the same small box. He says, okay, in front of you, I want you to notice the small box. We are all looking around at each other, not understanding, but really happy because it is so much fun. Now, before you open your box, I want each person to share where their treasure was and what exactly was in the treasure chest. One by one, each person takes us on their journey to discover their own treasure. It is amazing hearing where people have traveled to find their treasure. Some have taken a plane across the ocean to a desert island, while others have simply buried the treasure in their backyard. When it gets to Charles's turn, he has an extraordinary treasure hunt, filled with detail and excitement. There is no question. He is going to be a writer. His imagination is much greater than mine. Each student shares. It is more fun listening to everyone's stories and adventures than imagining finding the treasure. Most people have found money and old coins, gold. One person has even found a diamond crown that was once worn by a princess. The stories are really fun to hear, and when others are taking us on their adventure, it is like we are right there with them. We get to the last person. It is obvious we are all getting very curious to open the little boxes that have been placed on our desk. Now, Mr. Willis asks that we take a deep breath before we open the box and discover the treasure that he has placed inside. It is exciting. What could be in such a small box? Okay, please open your box. We open our boxes only to find each one is empty. They are all empty. There isn't a single treasure in anyone's box. We look perplexed. Mr. Willis looks around the room and asks if anyone is disappointed their box is empty. No one is disappointed, just confused. He continues to share that the test of patience was part of our classroom unity. Everyone is still confused. It hadn't felt like a test, and the box was empty. No one understands. I want you to keep this box in your desk at all times. When you need to have patience, I want you to know that each box is filled with patience. We are puzzled. Mr. Willis continues on. When people come together in a group like a classroom, there are many different views and everyone has a story to share. When someone is sharing something you do not find interesting, I want you to reach into your box of patience and pull some patience out for yourself. We sit looking at each other, again confused. Had we not been patient when everyone was sharing their stories? I was so confused. It may not mean very much to you right at this moment, but I promise you, there will be a time for each of you to discover your test of patience. Clever, I think to myself. Everyone is relieved that it hadn't been an actual test. Then Mr. Willis says, if you think you won't need to reach into your box, I know that will be a test in itself. This is fun. I can see that everyone has shared great things with each other. It has been a great way for us to understand each other. One voice from the back of the class pipes up, so there is no treasure to be found? And my teacher replies, patience may be one of the largest and greatest treasures you will ever discover, much greater than any gold coins. We were all very pleased. I wonder who will use their box first. Please use your pencil to write your name on your box, and tuck it away for when you need it. My teacher speaks in a joyful manner. After school, I return home. It is my day to go to the shelter. I tell my mom about the test we've had. She thinks that each family member should have a box just like that. She starts to laugh when she says that we can all use a little patience at times.